CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jim Berry. Welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Here is a look at today's top stories. The search is on for a driver who was involved in 2 hit-and-run crashes. One killed a man on a scooter in Southwest Miami-Dade. Just moments ago, police identified the victim as 46-year-old Alexis Munoz. He had recently moved here from Cuba. CBS News Miami's Peter Dench reports from one of the crash scenes.
This is where it all ended when the driver of a pickup truck involved with the hit-and-run crash plowed through the fence behind me. A spokeswoman for Costa Farms says the company is deeply saddened by what happened here. She says this hit-and-run accident claimed the life of an employee here on Southwest 194th Avenue at 208th Street. She says that he was an employee of Costa Farms, as was his wife, and he was dropping her off for work when the accident happened. Miami-Dade Police say the driver of a silver pickup truck kept going southbound for 24 blocks when the driver crashed into a fence and into plants of another farm at Southwest 232nd Street. Police say the driver then fled. It's not known if that driver was alone. Detectives hope to put out a BOLO or a be on the lookout bulletin for that person. It is not known why he did not stay at the scene. A police source tells us he is confident that an arrest will be made in this case. If you can help, call Miami-Dade Police or Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers at 305-471-TIPS. We'll have much more in this story coming up at 5 in just an hour on CBS News Miami. It's Southwest Miami-Dade. Peter Dench, CBS News Miami.
Always alerting, always tracking. This is Next Weather.
All right, taking a live look outside. It is November. That's what the calendar says, but boy, it's still kind of toasty outside. So my question is cooler weather on the way? Ivan Cabrera, please, where's the cool air?
Well, what do you consider cool?
Not what we got in the 82 to 83 degrees. No.
Yeah, so we're going to cool things off a little bit as we head towards the end of the week. Maybe sweater weather very early in the morning as we get temperatures into the 60s, but the key will be the humidity. Once that drops, that refreshing air mass is just going to feel great to be outside. Temperatures right now in the low 80s, but the feels like numbers because of the humidity. Look at the Key West. We're sitting at 92 degrees in mid-November at this point here. So I am tracking cooler temperatures and that lower humidity. That's going to drop nicely. We are still in the hurricane season, doesn't end until the 30th, and we're watching a new disturbance in the Western Caribbean. We'll talk more about that. And then the deal is isolated showers, I think, for the next few days. Not expecting any big rain chances. In fact, I think today and tomorrow, the highest rain chance, which is about 20%, so not bad at all. So there are the 80s and a couple of showers here. Kind of trying to make a move on the Keys here, but I think most of this will fall apart. We'll have a few showers that'll make it in, but otherwise we're looking relatively quiet as we head through the remainder of the evening. There is a humidity drop. I have not shown you the comfortable range so far this season. I mean, this is dropping nicely. And another thing that we're going to do is we're going to hold on to it because there's going to be 2 boundaries that come in that will reinforce the dry, the lower humidity air, and also the cooler temperatures. So something to look forward to. We'll get out of this oppressive, which is where we've been over the last several days. So a nice drop there. Next for the rain tracker showing quiet conditions for the rest of tonight. There's your Tuesday. Northeast wind, relatively quiet. A couple little Atlantic showers. There's not that much moisture available, so I don't think we're going to be looking at any significant rain. And then we have the boundary, the first one coming in late in the week, and that's going to be the first of 2 that will bring us this change in our weather that we're going to look forward to. This we're not looking forward to. The tropics, we never want to talk about it this time of year, but here we are with the disturbance here across, and you can already see it's bothering the island of Hispaniola there. What we're going to have is a disturbance upstairs in the atmosphere that will translate towards the west the next few days, and slowly but surely we're going to have what we'll call the surface low pressure system, and that could develop into a depression. In fact, the odds of this becoming a named storm, which would be Sarah, that's the next name on the list, are continuing to increase day in and day out. What will continue to change, which is why we really don't have a forecast set yet, is the model forecast here and the trends, which is what we look for here. But that's the European. They're just kind of going into a loop there because the steering currents are going to be a little wild here. But something to look at, something we'll watch. Nothing imminent for South Florida. We're not looking for any significant threat there from the tropics as we check in on the next weather 7-day forecast. Turning a little breezy behind the second front, and that's the one that will set Jim's match here on Saturday morning. That's going to feel refreshing, my friend. Mid-60s for a Saturday and Sunday morning.
Thank you for being so considerate, Ivan. Thanks. Meantime, another deadly collision caught on camera after the driver of a pickup truck slammed into a semi-truck overnight. CBS News Miami's Morgan Reiner tells us more from Miami Gardens.
We now have official information from Miami Gardens Police explaining exactly what happened. We also have surveillance video that shows exactly that. Avi Vaknin woke up to a phone flooded with notifications.
I woke up, I got a lot of text messages from the police, from news reporters, my employees. They told me to look at the cameras around 3 a.m. I started going on the playback, and what I saw was devastating.
His cameras picked up this, the moment a Publix tractor trailer was attempting to turn left onto Miami Gardens Drive when a Ford F-250, traveling at a high rate of speed, failed to stop and collided with the trailer.
I wanted to find out if the driver is alive, what's his condition, if he's okay. I looked through other angles of other cameras that I have just to see if he's, if he was strapped in the vehicle. I saw the police came right away. About 30 seconds, we saw a bunch of vehicles, and they tried to get him out. I think about 2 minutes after, the fire marshal came and they started, cutting the vehicle.
Miami Gardens Police said the driver did not survive.
And it was really bad. Just the driver went into a truck, a Publix truck, and it was just sad to see it.
It took several tow trucks and attempts to lift the 18-wheeler high enough to dislodge the pickup truck from underneath. This is what it looked like once it was pulled out. Miami Gardens Police said that they are still investigating this crash. At this hour, we do not know the identity of the victim. In Miami Gardens, Morgan Reiner, CBS News, Miami.
Morgan, thank you. Now at 4 p.m., a man is in critical condition after being shocked by an electrical line while working in Weston. This happened earlier today near Glades Parkway, south of Interstate 75. According to Broward Sheriff Fire Rescue, a private contractor was operating machinery at a construction site when he may have come in contact with an underground utility line. The man was flown to Broward Health in Fort Lauderdale. Well, of course, it is Veterans Day, a time to honor those who have served and who are still serving our country in the military. CBS News Miami's Ted Scott reports from Davie on a celebration held there.
A day to honor the men and women of the U.S. military. Here in Davie, we had a good showing. We had members of each branch of the military. One of the wonderful things about today is it reminds us to say thank you, not just today, but every day.
There's so many out there that didn't come back. I'm one of them that came back to my family, so I'm very thankful for that. So for me, it was emotional when they played taps. There
are events going on all over South Florida today. We'll highlight them beginning at 5. In Davie, Ted Scouten, CBS News Miami.
Looking forward to that, Ted. When we come back, are you ready for some Monday Night Football involving the Dolphins? Look at tonight's matchup on CBS between the Dolphins and the Los Angeles Rams out west and what the team needs to do to get back on the winning track. Welcome back. In 70 days, President-elect Donald Trump will be inaugurated as the nation's 47th president. The president-elect is moving quickly to fill some top positions in his new administration. CBS News Miami's Christian Benavides is in Palm Beach County, home of the transition headquarters.
Following his decisive victory, President-elect Donald Trump is wasting no time building his administration. Trump announced former ICE Director Tom Homan will be his border czar.
I'm honored the president asked me to come back.
Homan appeared on Fox and Friends this morning.
Public safety threats and national security threats will be the priority.
Trump has tapped New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik to serve as ambassador to the United Nations. Stefanik made national headlines last year, questioning university presidents during hearings on anti-Semitism on college campuses.
Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Penn's code of conduct when it comes to bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
It can be harassment.
The answer is yes.
Other high-level staffing discussions are still underway. CBS News has learned Republican Senator Bill Hagerty of Tennessee, a staunch opponent of Ukraine aid, is being considered for Secretary of State, along with Senator Marco Rubio and former Director of National Intelligence Rick Grenell.
whatever role I hold going forward, it's going to be advancing the positions that President Trump has articulated that the American people overwhelmingly supported.
President-elect Trump is also trying to exert influence over Congress and the next Senate Majority Leader. In a post directed at the 3 Republican contenders, he wrote whoever wins should allow him to make recess appointments to his cabinet that don't require Senate approval. He also said the Senate shouldn't approve any judges until he takes office. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, West Palm Beach, Florida.
A heroic rescue by volunteer firefighters in Texas was caught on camera over the weekend. Body cam footage shows crews smashing a second-story window early Sunday morning. Moments later, they pull a 2-year-old out of a burning apartment building. The boy's cries could be heard. That was certainly a welcome sign of life for his mother.
Actually, them telling me that he was crying was probably the best moment of my life thus far. Because at one time, just a couple seconds before that, I thought my baby was dead.
Keene managed to get her 4-year-old son but could not reach Liam due to heavy smoke. The toddler was taken to a children's hospital and is recovering now from carbon monoxide poisoning. Now to Fins on CBS Miami. The Dolphins in Los Angeles getting ready for Monday Night Football tonight against the Rams. Fins at 2-6 on the year. Certainly need a win in the worst kind of way. CBS News' Miami's Samantha Rivera has more on who is expected to play and who might not.
All right, so I'm not going to lie to you guys here. I kind of feel like a broken record at this point at 2-6. The Dolphins are doing everything they can to turn things around right now. It's as crucial as ever to win this next one, a primetime matchup against the Rams later tonight. Now, the injuries are not helping these guys out. Starting right tackle Austin Jackson is out, dealing with a knee injury right now. Wide receiver Tyreek Hill also questionable with his wrist injury. There is one positive note, though, here. Zach is back. His orbital bone injury held him out for the last 2 weeks, but he returned to practice where he said he's going to be rocking a visor moving forward, hopefully providing a spark to a defense that has sorely missed him. All things considered, the Fins are choosing to believe they can win today.
I would say a lot of guys that are on our team, they got some experience in this league, and some guys have actually gone through what we're going through now and have been able to turn it around. We got to put the product out there on the field and win games. That's at the end of the day, that's what matters.
Well, here's hoping the Fins can give us some hope for a better week here. In the studio, Samantha Rivera, CBS News Miami.
Samantha, thanks. And CBS Miami is the place to watch the Dolphins take on the Los Angeles Rams tonight on Monday Night Football. Pregame starts at 7:30, kickoff at 8:15. Then, of course, stick around for the 5th quarter postgame show. That is CBS News Miami's Quickcast. I'm Jim Barry. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS News Miami. Good night.